Welcome to the yarn room. I am Ross and I love yarn. As you can see behind me is just some of my yarn collection. And today we're going to be talking about what can we make with one ball of yarn. So I think this might be maybe the start of a series here on the channel where we talk about projects that we can make with one ball of yarn. Whether that be multiple projects from that one ball of yarn or one big project with that ball of yarn. The goal is to use one ball of yarn and pretty much use all of that ball of yarn. I mean, what I want at the end is like having just like a little bit of this and the ball band left. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about yarn and one yarn in the video. And the yarn today we're talking about is this Premier Yarn Value. This is 400 grams, 875 yards of 100% acrylic yarn. It's number 4 medium weight yarn, or worsted weight, whatever you like to call it. I usually call it worsted weight. Great yarn. If you've never worked with this yarn, I have to say you need to work with it. If you're someone that is looking for a really affordable yarn that's a really nice quality, this is the yarn to go with. It is only $6.99 for this ball of yarn. And it is a big ball of yarn. It's not just like a little teeny tiny ball of yarn. I was going to grab one, but whatever. This is, this is my hand. It's like, it's a good size. It's like, this is my head. So, this is the yarn we're talking about. Just to be transparent, 100% honest, open with you, I am an affiliate with the Premier Yarns. They did send me this ball of yarn right here to talk about and do the video. And if you click on any of the links down below that takes you to Premier Yarns website, those are affiliate links. And I do make a small percentage back on the purchases you make. I just take that money and put it back into the channel, whether that be web hosting to host all my free patterns on my website, smellslikeyarn.com, or the software I use to work with these videos, and the other software I use to do my PDFs for my patterns, or the yarn I purchase to share on the videos. It's just kind of like a big circle. So that's what that does. So if you make a purchase through those links, it just goes into the yarn fund or the website fund or whatever fund to kind of put back into the channel. So thank you everybody that does click on those links. I really appreciate it. Yeah, let's get talking about this. So like I said, they sent me this ball of yarn and they contacted me back at the end of May and said they're doing this campaign in July to kind of show, what can you make with one ball of yarn. And they went if I was interested, and I said yes. I kind of did that back in May when they launched the yarn, and I made this crochet wrap right here using one ball of the yarn. And I have to say I fell in love with this yarn because I wasn't really sure what it was gonna be like when they said what it was gonna be. It's like, I don't know, because sometimes value yarn, you touch it and it's like, yeah, that's value yarn. That's definitely, that feels like value yarn. This does not feel like value yarn. This feels like really good premium acrylic yarn. But the price is just like, what? 400 grams for only $6.99? Like, okay. But yeah, I love it. And this is a wrap I crocheted using that ball of yarn. This color here is called Royal Blue. There's 22 colors available in this yarn, and this is the one they sent me back in May for when the yarn launched. And I made this wrap. This wrap ended up being about, I think, 18 inches wide and 80 inches long. It's longer than my wingspan, because I'm just knocking things off on the floor. And the pattern was something different. I actually used the Ask AI app, I think is what it's called, that is powered by ChatGPT. So I used artificial intelligence and asked them to, hey, write me a pattern that uses 875 yards of worsted weight yarn, and I asked for a 1-row repeat. This is actually a 2-row repeat, but it was very easy to, figure out what row I was on when I was working on the projects. But I love how it turned out. It was fun, and it used up pretty much, this is what I had left. So it was a nice size project that, wrap around yourself, keep you warm. It's a good length. I like it. So this is one thing you can make with that ball of yarn. So that's what I did back in May. So when they told me about the campaign and they asked me to pick out a color. I picked out this color here. This color here is called Lemon. Let's take it out of the package. So when it comes to you from Premier, it's packaged up like this. So we take it out, and here is the color Lemon, which is a nice soft yellow color. Nice little happy yellow. You got the end of the ball right there, and this is nice. So if you look at the ball band a little bit, so Premier just yarn value, 875, 800 meters, 14 ounces, 400 grams. So this is just shy of 1 pound. So 16 ounces is 1 pound. We're 2 ounces shy of 1 pound. And then we scroll here. You got Premier yarns. This is made in Turkey. This color here is called Lemon. And you got the care instructions. So it's a machine wash, warm, tumble dry, which I actually did that with this yarn. It washed up wonderfully. I feel like the yarn got even better after it went through one wash. It's great. It's great to work with at the beginning, and then after I washed it, it just got softer and nicer. So we got number 4 medium weight, and there is the recommended hook and needle sizes. If you wanted to get like a 4" by 4" square with those stitches or crochet, single crochets, they're saying to use a USA hook or a USI 9 hook. And it is tested and approved against 350 plus harmful substances, so good for most skins, and I love it. So when they told me about the campaign, it's like, I want to do that, but I want to do more than just one project. I want to get more of this yarn because I really like to work in with this color here. Loved working with that yarn. It's like I want to work with it more, make more projects. So have a few things to show in these videos, and I will also continue on the month of July working with this. So if you follow me on here on YouTube, obviously I'll do short videos. Also on TikTok, you'll see me working with this yarn. Also, I do lives on TikTok. So if you want to see what I'm working on, hop on the TikTok lives. They're always random. I don't know what days or times I do. It's just kind of like, I got some free time, let's hop on TikTok live and work with some yarn and chat with the folks. So but you'll see this throughout the month as I'm working on the projects. Actually, probably just the first couple weeks, because depending on what I'm doing, I can get through this pretty quickly. That's the speed I work at. Everybody works at different different speeds with their yarn crafts, so don't feel pressure that you have to do something fast because someone else does it fast. It's just how my hands work and what I'm doing. I kind of can speed through some things. Other things, it takes me a while. Anyways, there's that. So what I did, like I said, I ordered some other colors. So I'll show you the other colors. So here, I ordered 6 other colors. I worked with 2 of them. 4 of them I still need to work with. So let's look at these other colors. I kind of picked a little bit of everything. So this color right here is called Goldenrod. It's a nice like gold color. So like a cross between like the yellow and the orange. That's Goldenrod. And then the next one I picked is this dark green color called Juniper. So there's that. Nice like forest green color. There's 22 colors available altogether. And then we got this color here called Light Gray, which is just light gray. And the last color I picked up, I love this color, is, look at that. This is Magenta. So, those are the 4 colors I picked up that I haven't worked with yet. But there are 2 colors, 2 additional colors I did purchase and I have worked with. I'll show you the projects I made. Made a little sip of water. And here's a little shot of all 22 colors, which if you click the link down below, you can see all the colors and order some. Get some for yourself. I love this yarn. It's a great yarn. It is, like when I started working, I was like, wow, this actually feels like really, really, really good acrylic yarn. And then when the price is only $6.99, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, that's too good of a price for this yarn we're getting. It's like, wow. So the first project I made is using the color called Sea Glass. So this is the color Sea Glass. And for this, I went on Premier Yarn's website and was looking through their patterns, and I found this pattern here called the Sweet as Pie Baby Blanket. And this pattern was written for their Premier Candy Shop, which is 100% acrylic yarn, a number 4 yarn, and I think it's 260 yards per ball of yarn. So I figured, you know, 260 times 3, what we're looking at, you know, okay, so we got 780 yards of yarn is what this pattern called for, and it's going to give a baby blanket the size of 30 by 36. And it uses US 10 needles, which that's what I did. I used US 10 needles. I dropped my crochet hook. So I used US 10s. I used the Knitter's Pride, I think these are called cubic Platina needles. These are square-shaped needles, which I love working with square-shaped needles for my knitting. And I used the Knitter's Pride Mindful Collection cable, because I really like the cable on the Mindful Collection needles, so I kind of mix and match my needles with my tips. And so I follow the pattern as it's written, and I ignored one section of the pattern, which I rarely try this because, especially with like blankets and shawls and scarves, I feel like it's not that big of a deal if you don't try it out. But the little gauge section, I didn't do a gauge swatch. I just went right in and started with the project. I casted on 106 stitches and went to town. And I should have done a gauge swatch because my dimensions came out a lot different than what the pattern was going to come out as. So instead of being like, kind of like a 30 by 36 rectangle, I got a 27 by 49 rectangle. So it's more like, it's longer than I want it to be and narrower than I want it to be. But you know what? That's my fault because I didn't do a gauge swatch. But oh well, it still created a really cool fabric. Something I could like wrap around my shoulders. So like a small wrap, or it's like a little lap blanket, whatever you want it to be. But I love how it turned out though, and this yarn is just amazing. But look how, I love this stitch. Not sure what you can see, but so I used up pretty much all the yarn. What I had left at the end was this much yarn, like nothing left. So that's what I love about doing these projects is, using up that entire ball of yarn. I pretty much did. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that is the Sweet as Pie Baby Blanket. Great pattern. And it's a free download over on their website. I'll link to it down below. What I enjoy is it gives you the pattern multiple. So if you want to make a different size, you could do that. So it's a multiple of 8 stitches, and you add 2 stitches. So like the 106 is divisible by 8, and then you add 2 stitches. Or the 104, okay, be 104, then you add 2 stitches, 106. Numbers, I love math, but yeah. I really love when patterns give you the repeat multiple, so then you can kind of make it your own size and not have to kind of guess what the repeat is. But really simple pattern, knit, purl, that's it, nothing complex. And it's one of those patterns, like once you get a few rows in, a couple of the repeats in, you really start going to town, and like you don't even need to look at the pattern because you kind of just, it's one of those where if you just read your knitting, you can tell what row you're on, what you're supposed to do, and just follow it that way. So I love this basket weave texture that it creates. So that's the Sweet as Pie Baby Blanket using 1 ball of the sea glass color. And that was, like I said, was knit on using US 10s like the pattern calls for and all that. So the next project I made uses the color called Aaron. Is this the ball band? Yep. Color name is called Aaron. And this is a crochet throw. Well, this one's actually 30 by 36. like the pattern says it's going to be. And this is like a granny rectangle. So you start at the center and you just work your way out. And it's a really, I love this pattern so much. So easy to remember. It's just you do 3 double crochets in every space. Then on your corners you do double crochet, or 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in your corners. And you just go round and round and round and round. Of course, when you get to the end of the round, you slip a stitch and then you chain 3 to go up to the next row. But it is a lot of fun to do, and I love how it turned out. This one I had a little bit more of the yarn left over because I think there's about 20 grams here left over when I weighed it. So when I got towards the end, I weighed it and I had like 46 grams of yarn on the ball. So then I got all the way around, weighed the ball of yarn again. It was 20 grams. Like, okay, well, I can't make another way around with this yarn, so we had to stop it there. So I have a little bit more left over than I would like, but I can make a couple small things with this if I wanted to. Maybe like some mug rugs or like little coffee cozy, coffee cup cozy type things. Whatever. But I love how this turned out. And this is called the Strawberry Shortcake Throw. So this is another pattern that is on their website, free to download. And this was originally written for their Sweet Roll Frosty yarn, which is 245 yard cakes. And it calls for 3 of them. So I figured that's should give me... I was thinking I might be able to get a little bit bigger because there's more yarn in this ball, but it's the same size that this pattern says it was going to be, so I'm okay with that. But really great pattern, super simple, very, very mindless. And actually, I think with this pattern, what I'm going to do is use it to make like a mini skein throw, because I have so many mini skeins I've collected over the years that I've been like trying to figure out a project to make with them. And I figured this would be a perfect one because it's just one of those you can pick up and go. It's easy to, like, you're doing the same stitch all the way around, except when you get to the corners. So it's really simple. It's a good, I'd say, pick up and go project. So, you know, work with some yarn, add it to the collector, actually add it to the throw and go on to the next color. I know that's totally not the whole concept of this video, but I'm thinking out loud when I was working on this project, like, this would be a good like mini skein project. Kind of like just add your color in and go, and when you get to the next one, add the next color and so forth. And just see how big it gets. But if you have one ball of just yarn value, you can make this 30 by 36 throw. And for this I used H hook. This is what the pattern called for, so this is what I used. I think these are Knitter's Pride Waves crochet hooks, which I really, really love these hooks. As you see here, it's flat right there. So it's easy to hold, grab onto, and this was part of a set I purchased. So I got all different sizes in this. You've got a C, D, E, F, G, a 7, 4.5 millimeter, an H, I, and J crochet hook. And I use this one quite a bit, and I really enjoy it. So I like these hooks. These are good hooks. But I love this pattern. I'm so happy with this. So that's what I made over the last 3 weeks, because this project took me about 2 weeks to complete from start to finish. And then this project actually took me less than a week. I started this project on a Saturday afternoon, and I finished it Thursday morning. I think there was one day in there where I didn't get to work on it at all. But I just work on it, maybe a couple hours here, hour there, a couple hours here, kind of just off and on, just pick up, work on it. And I finished it, like I said, Thursday morning before I went to work. I was like, yeah, I finished a project before work. I love that. But this is just, okay, let's see. You can see here how it looks. I love it. So much fun. So I think that is it. So if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, let me know. I think it'd be kind of fun to have these videos like this in the future where I talk about just like one ball of yarn and make a project or projects with those balls of yarn, balls of yarn. Like if I got a lot of yarns, I have multiple colors. I'll get like one of each color or one of a few, like one like a few colors from them. I'll get one of each of those colors. And then I was like, what can I make with these? So I think it'll be kind of fun thing to kind of like work through the yarn. But yeah, love this. Love it, love it, love it. So one ball of yarn here, one ball of yarn project here, and a one ball of yarn project here. I'll have links to these two patterns down below too over on Premier Yarn's website. I don't have anything for this pattern. Like I said, I got this through the Ask AI app on my phone. I asked it for a pattern and artificial intelligence gave me this pattern here. So I don't have this written up anywhere, just on my phone. And well, I got a copy of it that I copy and pasted into just like a Word document for myself to work from, but nothing online for that. But anyways, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Premier Yarns for sending me the ball of the lemon. And like I said, follow me on here on the YouTube Shorts and over on TikTok to see what I make with this. And I'm sure I'll probably do a video in the future that shows what I made with this. Probably a future Smells Like Yarn episode will talk about what I made with this project here and the other projects. But anyways, that's just an idea here of what you can make with one ball of just yarn value, available over on Premier's website. You know, you get a lot of yarn, 875 yards of yarn for only $6.99. The price, I know, just like that doesn't make sense. I should be spending more for this really good yarn, but you're not. You're paying $6.99 for a really affordable yarn that's actually a really, really nice quality. So Premier did a great job with this yarn, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I know I'm not disappointed, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you so much for watching.